So they decriminalizing personal possession of small amounts of certain controlled substances, and the legal therapeutic part usage of it as well.
Okay.
So I guess it could be used in a therapeutic setting. So,
meaning just for marijuana or all drugs?
Oh, yeah, it's a list of drugs here. It's heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine, LSD, MDMA, oxycodone, and methadone.
Oh my God! So you mean they can legally use heroin?
Yes.
Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Meet the Shoe. I'm Nina.
And I'm Sade.
And today we will be discussing...
Well, we're going to discuss about Oregon. It's a lot of big talk about how Oregon changed some of their drug laws in the state and the usage, possession charges, and so forth. So I was curious, and I'm like, okay, what could they have changed to make it, better for that city or that state? So they decriminalizing personal possession of small amounts of certain controlled substances, and the legal therapeutic part usage of it as well.
Okay.
So I guess it could be used in a therapeutic setting. So,
meaning just for marijuana or all drugs?
Oh, yeah, it's a list of drugs here. It's heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine, LSD, MDMA, oxycodone, and methadone.
Oh my God! So you mean they can legally use heroin?
Yes.
Small dosages. Okay. Did they state what it will be used for?
So the person, the abuser, from what I'm seeing here, you know how people may get caught with drugs in their pocket or something. If you're going, you walking down the street, you get stopped, so happen to get stopped by the police. So you may get a gram of heroin or something like that, and a needle on you or so forth. They would not give those people, a felony charge.
So what is it? A misdemeanor under a certain amount?
Yes, I think it's something small, or they just, I don't even think they even get a case.
I never thought that there would ever be a time or a state, being as though they say war on drugs, hard on drugs, and see the effects of what drugs do to families, to people, right? I never thought that I would ever hear of any legalization outside of weed.
Right.
Right? But when you sit and you think about it, it's like, okay, here lately, most people have been overdosing, like it's been a high percentage, especially due to, the celebrities that are dying due to prescriptive drugs. Right. They have us designed in our mind to think that, pills are not drugs, right? Well, definitely anything that will alter mood is a drug. Exactly. Right? Anything that will enhance your ability to be better at something, or even worse, like take away the pain, is a drug, right? And so we think that if it's in a pill form, that's nothing, versus something that's man-made. Cocaine is not man-made, but crack is, right? Right. Methamphetamine is a man-made drug. Weed isn't. Marijuana isn't, right? But when they enhance it with all these different things to make you be greater or you be higher, I guess that would be the intent of the illegal, right?
Yeah, or the illegal come in where you have more than enough that you could distribute, manufacture. Okay. Like drug dealer amounts. So maybe anything over so many grams.
So like an excessive amount. They assume you're a drug dealer. Yes. So you can't have an excessive amount and it just be yours. Right. It just be yours, and hey, I want to just get high. I want me and my family to come over,
have a party.
Get high, have a party, No. They look at it as you're being so the intent of the the intent is what is going to get you in trouble. So if I say I have a whole table full of marijuana, right? And I break it down into sacks, right? I break it down to $20 sacks, a blunt or whatever,
that's for
right?
sale.
That's for sale. But I can't just pre-roll those sales.
Right.
pre-roll those blunts for myself. I have to able assume that I'm gonna sell it.
Right.
All right. Legislation. You know what I'm saying? Congress and our senators and police officers, because they're all collectively come with why we're treated the way we are. It doesn't result all the way down to the police.
Right.
The police is the one that enforce what they were told to do. You know what I'm saying? So technically, we need to be arguing with the doctors, the chemists, and then the legislation, the Congress, the senators. That's who our argument is, right? Even before the judge, because the judge is the one, he relays the message and enforces the sentence, and then the that puts you in jail. But the police officer is the one who is enforcing the law that, before it gets to the judge. Right? So, okay, I get it. I'm understanding it a little bit better right now. Even though I don't like it. I don't like the fact that there's so many people. Right? I was watching I was telling you about that. I was watching Revolt TV with this guy on there named Corey Bird. No, excuse me, not Corey Bird. Corey, he's for the not the Innocence Project, Buried Alive Project. Okay. He got out due to the Buried Alive Project. He did 18 years in prison. He had a life sentence. And his charge was possession of controlled substance, right? Okay. So they also were in the process of now, since he's been home, trying to, he developed a program that would, when you're released from prison, you can get a vehicle. Okay. They're offering you vehicles, right? And so his thing was pay it forward, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like a person in people that are in Oregon, where it is everybody else in the rest of the world, you catch one of these charges that's of an excessive amount, you're going to go do the time. Yeah, you are. But in Oregon, you could have that same amount. The charge will be lesser, right? Right. Or no charge.
Or no charge. Mainly, they're going to be handing out fines. So they have to pay cash for different fines if you get caught with a gram or whatever like that. But they said not more than $100 fine.
Oh.
At the time, yeah.
Okay, and so when you get these fines, right? Where does it go? The money go?
It might go to the state in a fund, a drug fund, to fund the state programs or something like that, like treatment facilities or so forth, from what I'm seeing. Okay. Okay. So I think it's pretty much a good thing, and I will hope they would take it a step further and give it a safe haven for those people, like houses or something, for those people to safely use, especially the heroin addicts. Okay. I would assume or think, hey, have a safe house for a heroin addict, come use. You supply the needle for them, because it's clean needles. Right. And let them do whatever they do, get high, and then go on home about their business or whatever, or go to work. Okay. Maybe they might come up with something like that, or they're doing it. I'm not sure.
Do you think that under the state of Oregon, right? That's what we're speaking. Do you think that it's because a large number of the legislation is addicted?
I think it's a lot of higher ups more using some type of chemical, illegal substance.
And do you think that is the reason why they decided to make it legal?
I think It was,
Or is it more of a like, we can't beat them, then we'll just join them type
I think
of thing?
so. And instead of locking people up for so many years for small amounts of drugs, which was wrong. Some people got 7 years just for a little something, a half ounce or a quarter of ounce of whatever, and they figure, hey, we just constantly make them pay fines and work at it like that, and then the big time drug dealers, they'll deal with them. And it goes into effect February this year.
Okay.
It's not retroactive, so the people that are in prison and have past convictions, it
does not qualify them.
No, they don't qualify.
That's it right there. See, one thing that we have to take it back to our ex-president now, being as though Biden, he done made it on in the office, right? That's one thing that Trump did do. He did that First Step Act. Yeah. And he allowed previous people to get out, right? That was a great thing because that pushed a lot of people out of prison that didn't deserve to be there as long as they were.
Yeah. But he, pardoned and communicated.
He commuted.
144 people, I guess. Yeah, so...
And it started being more. I know it ended up at the end. It started with that, and then he went all the way to, I believe, 173.
Oh, wow.
Like, he continuously let people out in these past 2 days that, people still considering him a hero. Yeah. Even the racist people, that believe that he's a racist and that, he wants to, destroy the world where it's division between black and white, right? He did let a lot of African Americans out in his term. Yeah. He did do what he said he was going to do as far as releasing people from prison. So, do you think that he has a heart somewhere in there?
I guess. I don't know. It's just...
because everybody is stating that, because we're speaking of drugs, this is what our segment is. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, they were strongly involved in the 1994 crime bill, right? Right. And I was affected by that, definitely, right? I caught my case in 1996, right? And my sentence was 14 to 19 years that I could have got, but thank God I had a judge that he had 4 daughters, and he was over the state of Minnesota, like one of the top chief judges for federal court. And so due to that, he just gave me the mandatory minimum of 10 years, right? Okay. So I'm grateful, and I think that when you look at like the past and you say, all these presidents had a lot to do with starting back with Ronald Reagan, right? With involving crack versus powder, where it was such a huge fight for 20 years for people to get out of jail. Yeah. And, all these people having to snitch and bring their whole family down and, ruin all these relationships and all these kids' lives. You know what I'm saying? The kids were definitely prisoner of war, right? Right. They were the start of, in the beginning stages of it. So being as though Trump had nothing to do with that per se, he came through and he tried to abolish it the best way he can. There was only so much that he could do, because anything that he said that he wants to do, he still has a whole 300 party people that makes the final decision, right? And so now I'm just hoping that they enhance what Donald Trump done.
Right.
As far as people being released from prison. And these drug laws continuing to change, because you have people that's in prison right now that moved maybe tons, maybe warehouses full of marijuana, but they got big life sentences.
Yeah.
But like they were stating on Revolt TV with the girl Brittany and the guy Corey from the Buried Alive Project, like they said, marijuana is a lifestyle change for a lot of Americans right now, where it has come in and changed their life to where they have set up income for their families for generations to come due to marijuana, right? But then on the flip side of it is a life sentence for people that's still serving time for life in jail for marijuana.
And those people, that's a nonviolent crime. I mean, those type of people should be let out.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
There's no way you should be doing 10 and 20 years for drugs.
No.
I mean, have other programs for them to do.
Right. I'm going to say no one to me deserves to be in prison for life for drugs, right? But they look at it as if you have taken so many lives that you don't know. That's what they were telling me when I was being sentenced. Okay, and it's a prime example with Oregon. They saying you taking lives. Look, Oregon just passed saying, okay, you can use drugs. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Basically, you can use drugs as long as you have a certain amount. You can use whatever you want every day. Every day.
So you're not putting a gun up to people's head.
No.
Telling them you better use this drug.
No.
So now, what you gonna do about these people that's going to prison? You busy saying, well, you have victims out here that are using, and you victimize them in some.
Yeah, because you convince them into doing an act as far as using the drugs because you provided it for them, right? So that's on you, but if an adult decides that that's what they want to do, use drugs, that's what they're going to do anyway, right? Yeah. I could see the people that provide drugs to kids, that's horrible. Right? So you should be, I guess, prosecuted accordingly if you're giving children drugs or allowing children to sell drugs for you. Basically that's that would be like, that would be wrong, right? Now, as an adult, if you're, doing the law of their land right there, as far as they're allowing you to smoke where you want, get high where you want, snort, and, shoot your arm up the way you want to for a small amount, it's like, okay, well, what have you been teaching us really all this time? Right.
And then you know what? And then another thing comes into effect. A lot of these corporate jobs, really higher up jobs, want you to take a drug test before you're hired. So this law will just kind of like exclude that. So that means you can't even. If a person come in with a dirty UA, say in Oregon applying for a job, you can't even disqualify them because of a dirty UA. You have to hire them.
Well, do you think that they're saying that you can be high or under the influence, just not at work, right? Not while operating so see, that's where it gets a little tricky. Where does the law apply at? Because if you pull me over and I'm under the influence.
Exactly.
I'm under the influence of, what did you say? Methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine, LSD, MDMA, oxycodone, or methadone. If I'm under the influence of any of those things, right? So they didn't have marijuana on there? Okay. So if I'm under the influence of any of those, and those right there, if you think about it, okay.
They're very...
All of these are in forms of pills, right? You can get them in forms of pills or liquids, right? Okay, so I don't know. Is it they pick and choose which
right. So
way.
how can they give a person DUI?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand the state of Oregon's law. Right? We'll have to get back with you guys on that because I'm not understanding how that could even be legal on a small amount form, right?
Right.
Because there's no way you can properly operate anything that is going to work, or driving a car. You know what I'm saying? Especially, I know if there was someone, let's say for instance, I had to get on a city bus. And I had to get on a bus and I knew that the bus driver was high. I would get off at the next corner and pray, God, I made it to the next block.
Right.
Because that's like me getting on the bus and know that the man is reeking of alcohol.
Oh, gosh.
We gonna go off a bridge. We gonna crash into somebody's house. You know, that's anybody.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't understand what they mean by it's legal.
Right.
It's
to use.
Yeah, it's legal to use, and that you won't be prosecuted for such a small amount of fine. Like now, if you get caught in the state of Minnesota with a small amount, anything under an ounce, it's just pour it out. They pour it out.
Of marijuana?
They pour it out. They give you a ticket. They might keep it, act like they ain't seen it, whatever.
Step on it and then take you on about the
exactly. You got a blunt in the ashtray. I know they say throw it out. You can't have it. This or that. Some have even said you can have it, just don't use it while you're driving. Right. That's what I'm saying. If you have to have a conscious mind, a clear mind, a drug-free mind when you're operating any kind of machinery. Right. Whether, it's like I said, a vehicle or at work.
So I'm wondering if other states going to follow suit.
I mean, it probably, the thing what I'm seeing is it seems as though they're going to make sure that they're going to watch the death rate. Or they're going to watch the crime rate. See what level, if it's going to go up or if it's going to stay the same. Right. If it doesn't affect the community or the economy, right? Then I think that other states or cities will follow through. So that's one
when
thing
I was
we'll
doing
be
that
watching.
research, I'm like, wait a minute. So the United States, Oregon is the only state in the 52. And then I got to thinking about Amsterdam. So I had to go back and look at Amsterdam. What drugs do they have that's legal?
Everybody runs there.
Right, Yeah. And I'm like, looking, I'm like, their hard drugs are illegal. Cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, all that stuff is illegal. You go to prison for that. So they call it their soft drug category in the Netherlands. And it's cannabis, magic mushrooms, which has to be sold in smart shops. So they got two different kind of shops you can purchase your drugs of choice. Okay. So the magic mushrooms and I think nitric oxide. It's a smart shop. So I don't know how that look or set up, but I do know how the coffee shops are set up. You just go in a shop. It's like ordering coffee. They have a menu and all that type of stuff, and you get your cannabis from there. Different kind of cannabis. So in Amsterdam, they could be in possession of up to 5 pills without being in trouble. With like ecstasy pills, they can have 5 of them on them without getting a case.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
So those are the only 3 drugs you can have that's legally for usage.
For usage, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think that people are definitely looking for ways to just beat around the bush as far as like the law enforcement, right? Just like the congressmen and the senator, they're big users. Just think they are, they're the ones that's ruining lives. they're the ones that's going around making sure that trying to give you the red flag or green flag of your life.
Right.
They're the ones that state, hey, you can't commit this crime, but okay, you can a little bit because I'm going to do it.
Right.
So that's the part that confuses me right there.
Yeah, it's going to be different. And if you're going to do that, just have a safe place for people to do it at. Just tax it. Hey, look at Colorado. They got abundance of money from marijuana sales. So.
Yes, they have definitely came up. They have definitely came up.
Yes. So I guess with that being said, do we
do we what?
I'm trying to think.
Did you just have a brain fart?
Yeah,
right
I did. So, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the show.
I do have one more thing. So, what do you think as far as, the Biden and Harris administration, as far as, releasing people and doing the thing? You think that they would? Well, they are the decision makers for federal, right? Oregon is a state, right?
Yeah, it's state.
Okay, so Biden and Harris will be on the federal level, right? So, what are you hoping that they'll bring forth for the prisoners and the new laws as far as helping just the Black community, Latino community? What do you think that you want to see them do in these first 100 days? Because they say the first 100 days is the critical point of a president. Whatever he does in the first 100 days, he's going to do it throughout the whole 4 years of their term.
Right. I feel the economy, getting the economy back on track.
Okay.
First and foremost, because a lot of people are not doing well. It's businesses are slow. They're shutting down. Everything. That's what he need to focus on. Plus with the COVID, you know what I'm saying? It's difficult, but that's what it needs to be done.
Right.
It does. Hey, I'm barely working, and every other day, you might get one customer. One day you might have 3 or 4. It's up and down. It's not an even kill, of income before pre-COVID.
Right. I hope and pray that, first of all, they do another, releasing a lot of people from prison, federal and state, that don't need to be there. There is like the people that there's a woman that I heard of that she's in the Chicago County Jail, right? One of the, not Chicago, Illinois small county jail. She got caught with a half a kilo. A half a kilo of cocaine. It wasn't cooked or anything. You hear me? I said cocaine. They sentenced this young lady to 12 years in prison. Why is she getting 12 years? But she's Black, and she's in a small, she got caught in a small town in the state of Illinois, right outside of Chicago. First of all, if she was on a federal level, she'd have been out already. She'd been in there 2 years, right? She's been there 2 years. They still want her to do 8 more years. She has to go through appellate courts and jump through all these hoops just to get out. It's cases like that. Like a man I seen on there, he had stole something. And then he had some type of, small minor crimes when he was a kid. But 3-strike law made him get life in prison. He been there about 18 years since the 90s.
So people like that need to be out too.
Those people need to be hung. So I hope that they make the gap smaller. All these systematic racism things that are happening to our community, that's what I pray that they do in these first 100 days. And also get the biasness out of the housing, right?
Oh, yes.
Everyone that's black, we should be qualified for our loans immediately. Stop throwing all these stipulations in front of us when a white person can walk up in there and they'll make it happen for them, but they don't do the same thing for us. So, yes.
No. And we're going to touch bases on that in another episode. Podcast.
Okay.
Because that is important to talk about housing for felons.
Yes. So these first 100 days are very critical, y'all. And if there's anything that you would like us to touch on or do research on, please shoot us an email or a DM. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Meet the Shoe.
Thank you.